And nothing goes over better than getting something really good to eat. It makes them happy and it makes them play better. So I'd like to show you one of my favorite appetizer recipes that I'd like to do for you today. It's called pecan encrusted asparagus rolled in prosciutto. So first, I'd like to show you how we're going to take the asparagus and we're going to blanch it in some boiling hot water. First thing we need to do is we need to take the asparagus and cut off the bottom end, which is usually the toughest part of the asparagus. And we're going to throw some right in here, and we're going to blanch it for about a minute, maybe 2. In the meantime, we're going to start to prepare how we're going to roll it in the pecan crust. So we're going to take an egg, we're going to put it here in a nice bowl, mix it up just like this. I like to use pecans. They're already chopped and diced and very, very fine. It makes a really nice crust. You could try to use walnuts, but the flavor of the pecan really goes very well with the asparagus. Okay. So now we're going to take out our asparagus. Okay. As you can see, it's got still that nice, really, really nice green color. I have some here already blanched, so we're going to use these. And we're going to dip it in the egg. Okay. Then I'm going to take some of the pecans, put in a plate. Generally, you really want to get the asparagus fully coated in the egg so that the nuts will stick to the asparagus when you roll it. So now, I'm going to take one at a time, and I'm going to roll or coat it with the pecans. Then I'm going to set it aside until I'm ready to saute it. Okay, so now the next step, I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. We're going to coat the pan with some olive oil, let that heat up for a minute. And now we're going to do the ricotta mixture. So I'm going to take about this much ricotta. I like to use part skim, cut down a little bit on the fat so that it stays healthy. And then we're going to take some fresh black pepper, a little bit of salt, and then we're going to mix in some fresh chives. That also gives it a nice little flavor. It's always good to use nuts whenever you're cooking because especially walnuts, if you eat the walnuts after you've had any kind of a high-fat meal, it breaks down the bad fats that get into your bloodstream and actually takes it away from the walls of your arteries. So it's a great, great way of utilizing something healthy in your cooking, especially if you're using some fats. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take our pecan encrusted asparagus and we're going to lightly saute it in some olive oil. And the olive oil and the pecans taste really good on the asparagus. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. And that's it. It just takes maybe about a minute. You just turn it a little bit on each side. And then you can place it in your plate and set it aside until we're ready to put it into the prosciutto. We're going to take our prosciutto. And the hard part about prosciutto, especially if it's sliced, is keeping it together because it's got a very, very thin paper-like consistency. So I'm going to take 3 slices. You can even piece it together if it comes apart. It's not really a big deal. It's almost like a puzzle. So long as when you wrap it, you can roll it. Then we're going to take our mixture, and I'm going to spread it along the prosciutto, long ways, like this. And the ricotta actually acts as like a paste. It's like a glue to keep your prosciutto together. You go from one end to the other. It doesn't have to be too thick. It's actually better if you do a nice thin paste. I'm going to spread a little bit of Parmesan or Romano, anything that really grates up really nicely. Very tasty, strong tasting cheese. And then we're going to take our pecan encrusted asparagus, and then we're going to roll it like